Howdy. We're going to mess with this tuner maintenance. These don't work very well right now. This one won't really turn. It's just this one won't hear it. It's not happy. Now, first of all, we can't blame this on the tuners flopping around, these posts flopping around in the peg head, because these are doing it now. Hopefully they just need to be oiled. Here we are, gosh. So, to work on these, take them off the instrument. The main place to oil is not at the gear. The place where this is binding is, hopefully we're focused, this bearing. There's a little bearing. There's two bearings. One here and one here where the worm gear spins. The next place of friction is at the base of this post. At the base of this post, there's never any oil, and that's where the problem is. And on the other side, the base of this gear. This is not so important. The gear itself is going to get oil on it, and it's still bad. So let's try. Put a drop of oil here, 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 and hopefully give it a little turn. That's at the base. These are already loosening up. This one is not loosening up yet. That's the oil at the base of the post. Now we oil the same place. The base of the post on the gear side is going to be under the gear. Then we'll put a drop of oil on these. Tend to put it on the inside, and it'll lubricate the gear. I think we got oil everywhere. It spins so easy, just spins. This one is quit binding. No squeakies. And this one is now so loose it'll just spin around. So we fix these tuners with a oil can and a piece of paper towel. Now, my little rant. Tuners don't slip. Tuners don't slip. I'm a mechanical engineer. Design robotic positioning systems in X and Y. We use ball screws. They're frictionless things that you'll still use a screw, but there's ball bearings in it. But when we get to the Z-axis, there's gravity. And we use a worm gear. Because if you're lifting an expensive whatever to be positioned and power fails, you don't want it to backdrive the frictionless ball screw. So you use a worm gear. A worm gear does not backdrive. You can twist this post all day long and it's not going to move this. Tuners don't slip. If you have a guitar that won't hold a tune, it's because the intonation on your guitar is no good. Tuners don't slip. There's no magic. Now, the next thing of my little tuner talk is the way that the tuner is supposedly working is that the post, when installed, has a string pulling that way. and that causes it to push this gear into the worm. It causes them to be intimately touching, which is theoretically to remove backlash. Now to do that, to make sure this thing is bending and rubbing against this other thing, they make the holes that these go in the peg head a little loose. But believe me, first of all, you didn't really need to do that because the twisting of the string itself on this post is already turning it into the screw, into the worm. So you don't really need the slop. And what will happen now, even though these are freed up, if you put them into a peg head with an oversized hole, the string pull is going to pull this gear into the worm with more force than it ever would need. It's going to cause wear. It's going to cause it to be hard to turn. So we'll put in bushings. If you got slop in the peg head, and these are flopping around very much at all, that's probably the cause of the binding. Now, you could buy bushings at Stuart McDonald. That'll work in most cases. What I do in some cases is use this tubing from Ace Hardware, or you can get it from McMaster Car. This is brass tubing. It's telescoping tubing. It's thin wall brass tubing, and one piece fits inside the other. One piece fits inside the other, and this goes all the way down to like a 32nd of an inch diameter up to 3/8 or larger. So take your tuner to the Ace Hardware store, go to the telescoping tubing department, and find the one that just fits real nice on this shaft. There'll be one that just fits real good. If it's metric, it might be a little off, but also if you're cutting this stuff to be the bushing, you can leave these in place. Just cut it a little thinner than the peg head thickness and push it on with another piece of the same material. You'll have to deburr the ends of the little pieces you cut because the tight fit will allow it to go on if there's a burr in here, and you can deburr it any old way you want with an X-Acto knife, a file, a countersink from a drill set, or a large drill bit. Thank you very much.